Hey Wealth Lab users, welcome back. Today we're going to look at what's new in Wealth Lab 7 build 25. So let's take a look here at the home page. Build 25, we added two new transformer indicators. In the last video we explained a transformer indicator takes another source indicator, it can be any Wealth Lab 7 indicator, and applies a transformation on it. For example, compressing it to a different scale or offsetting it a certain number of bars. So let's look at the two new transformer indicators we added. I'll go to my indicators list and scroll down. And the first one is math ind op value. So both of these new indicators allow you to perform mathematical operations on an indicator. So thus the math indicator operation. So let's look at math ind op value. It allows you to perform mathematical operation on an indicator and a fixed value. So for example here, let's select a good old moving average. 20 is our indicator, and let's say we want to plot an SMA or a line that's 2% below the SMA. So we would simply multiply that SMA by 0.98. And there we have it. Let's look at the standard SMA for comparison. So here's a standard 20-bar moving average, and now we have a nice blue line plotted 2% below the moving average. So that's a math ind op value. And the second one is math ind op ind. So it's applying a mathematical operation on two indicators. So I'll drag that over, and instead of let's create an upper band of our moving average, but instead of multiplying it by a fixed value, let's add the standard deviation. Let's see how that looks. We can create our own custom bands using this method quite easily. So we'll go back to SMA, close 20, and this time we're going to add, and we're going to add standard deviation, and we'll leave the period of 20. Let's give that kind of an orangish color, and there we go. We've created our own new custom band, which is the 20-period moving average plus the 20-period standard deviation. So there you go, the two new transformer indicators. Of course, they can also be used in building block strategies. Let's quickly show an example of that. So here I went to my building blocks and I clicked new building block strategy, and we could kind of use the two indicators we just created. Let's say we'll take an entry at the next bar's market open, and I'll use indicator compared to indicator condition. When the close is less than, and here I'm going to get our math ind op value, and I'm going to use our SMA 20 multiplied by 0.98. And our exit will use our indicator compared to indicator, and I'm going to say close is greater than, and this time it'll be our math ind op ind, and we'll use our kind of custom band that we created using the SMA and then adding the standard deviation. Okay, so the rules are set up, and let's go to strategy settings. Let's give it 100% of equity and just test it on one symbol. Let's say Beyond Burgers. And click the run button here. So let's take a look at our results. So here we go. We have entries, exits based off of our custom bands that we created using the new transformer indicators. So just adds another level of flexibility and power to our drag and drop strategy development system. So next we have the ability to set the location of the WealthHub 7 data folder. So you might have a couple of instances of WealthLab 7 on your home network. Possibly you want to share the data folder on a network drive. You could now do that. Go to the File menu, Set Data Folder Location. So it shows you the current data folder location, and you would then specify the path of the new location. So it could be, anything here. Let's select your folder. After you select it, it would give you the option to copy the contents of the current data folder. If you're just changing your data folder, you'd want to copy your old data folder to the new location first. After that's done, WealthLab 7 will restart after you click this button here and use your new data folder. If anything goes wrong, you could always open this up again and then restore the original data folder location. So it just gives you a little bit more flexibility in using a possible data folder in the cloud or a network drive. So next, let's see what we've got. A couple of miscellaneous items here. One is the ability to turn off the zero anchoring that we have on our equity curve. So actually, let me change my strategy settings here. Let's go for a very low position size, which will allow us to see this effect a little bit better. So we go to our equity curve. After we run a back test, we see we have all of this, unused space here because the strategy happened to have a low position size, so it didn't go into this area of the equity. You can see the kind of the dark green area is the exposure of the strategy. This was the kind of portion of your capital that it held positions. The light green is all a sea of cash here. So the new feature here, turn off the anchor at 0, and your graph will automatically scale and kind of remove all of that white space. So that's the new anchor at 0 feature of the equity curve. Thanks to Replicant on the forum for suggesting that. We've been very diligent about implementing feature requests on our forum. So if you'd like to see anything in WealthHub 7, by all means, submit it as a feature request. The last thing I want to show is kind of a small fix we implemented into our PriceGrid class that we talked about a couple videos ago, I think. So for this, I'll go to our chart patterns extension, PriceGrid editor. And this tool allows you to select any area on the chart and capture the price action in a price grid. So for example, if I look at the chart and I see a repeating pattern that I feel is a precursor to a profitable range, after that pattern's expired, I can click this button and select and drag the area on the chart that I want to capture. After I've done so, it puts it in this price grid that I can then save to my library and even use as an indicator to scan any other data source to see how close any particular bar of data is to this pattern. So pretty interesting feature. The fix here was to improve the precision of capturing the chart data into the price grid. So now it's nice and precise. So there we go. That's what's new in 25. Just about caught up with these videos. I think I have one more to go before I'm all caught up. So that's great news. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you on the forum.